Hey everyone, Brett here. How you all doing? Has anyone ever felt like life is putting them in the same situation again and again? I know I have. And the experience may change, the people may change, the environment might change a bit, but it's the same emotional experience. And it happens over and over and over. And see, what I've come to learn, and this is a key phrase that we use in the Student of Life, is the game doesn't change until we do. This is a big one. And, I've heard this saying said in many different ways throughout the years. And I sort of got it conceptually, but I didn't really understand it. But I do now. Because when we shift internally, things change. Our experience of life changes. We call in different experiences. We filter our world differently. And so it's not really what's going on out here. It's always what's going on here. And when I say in here, we can look at it, we call it energetics, but it's these patterns, these programs, these beliefs, these unconscious emotional attachments that we experience life through, and it becomes the lens in which we're able to witness life. Anyway, this has a certain formula, so to speak, a certain experience, a certain capacity. And so if we're in these particular patterns, that's how we relate to life. So this is why the same situation keeps surfacing. We have the same emotional experience because inside this lens, that's what it experiences. Some lenses are shame and guilt and worry, concern. Some are failure. It's a certain application. It's a certain pattern. It's a certain sequence. So when I say the game doesn't change until we do, we look at life as one incredible game. And we're both the students and the players, and life is the teacher teaching us in all these different classrooms, and which is all the different environments and all the different experiences we have is the curriculum. But when we keep playing with inside a certain format, a certain application, we keep getting the same. When this becomes resolved, when we no longer have the need to experience life through this lens, we're able to experience it in a different light. But while we're being unconsciously driven to these certain perspectives, these certain things, and there's a trigger, there's something activating, it's really life showing us, experience after experience, playground after playground, classroom after classroom, there's something here that needs to be resolved. There's something here, and I'm showing you many different ways, but it's the same. When we can't accept the lesson, when we continue to blame the outside environment, our circumstances, situations, people. Now it's because of him that I feel this way. No, it's because of this application we're playing. And then this is how we interpret this experience. And I know this all too well. Like I've repeated loops and these applications constantly over and over and over. And I was blaming situation, circumstance, and sometimes that's just how it is. We're at that level that's how it is. But when we can step back and have a look, even if it's after the fact, because sometimes with these patterns, we get hijacked. I had an experience of this the other day, and I was hijacked, and it was something that I thought that was well and truly resolved, because back in the day, I used to just react. That just used to be who I was, how I was, and it served me back in the day for the life that I was living, just to be reactive and to just react and not care about consequence and what was going on. And it did serve me for that time. But over time, I started to do a lot of work and started to move beyond a lot of this stuff, and then you get humbled. You know, you get a reminder, because some of these are still there. They're just not running the show anymore so much. But when these really unconscious patterns hijack us, when we get hijacked by these, sometimes the reaction, it's all totally emotional. There's no rational there. This was towards my 10-year-old son. And then I felt bad after, because when the Incredible Hulk comes out, it's not nice. And I thought that that wasn't there anymore. And I was kidding myself, and it humbled me, because I think I may have been a bit on my high horse for a while, because as much as I've been going through, I've been able to respond very well to life, not emotionally, not hijacked, not reactive in any way. And then you get a reminder, because I may have been judging others as well, like thinking that, I'd moved past all this and judging some others in the process. But yeah, life also teaches you that lesson of humility, and also shows you what needs to be processed, to be worked on, to bring light to. So, and I was able to go through a process of becoming aware of all of this, and there was a big resolution, because otherwise, like, if I was to have reacted like that previously, not so much way back in the past, but like previously, I would have been very judgmental on myself and very felt very bad, which I did to start with. But then when I was able to see it for what it was, become aware of it, sort of experience it, and just accept that this happens. And you know what? When these patterns hijack us, that's how it is. Not to say that the behaviour's okay. Not to say that that's how I want to continue to react. But sometimes it is. Sometimes we do. So the game doesn't change until we do. Means when these patterns no longer hijack us. There's many of them, so a lot of these there's been resolution for me, and obviously there's still a few that they catch me out. Very rarely these days, but when they do, they do. And so when there's not that activation there, not that capacity to trigger us like that, it's not there. It's no longer running the show. And so our system has changed energetically, and so we now have a different experience and outlook on life. But life's always teaching us, it's always showing us. And just remember that. So the game doesn't change until we do. Much love.